Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome to another episode of F1 Manager Challenge Mode, the series where we do try and make things a little bit harder by adding in some additional rules and regulations that we have to follow, which can be found in the video description down below, so do check those out if you're new to the series or just want to see an update as to what those rules are. We are doing very well at the moment. We've had a couple of really strong results coming off the back of some not so good results. We started the season incredibly strongly with a bit of a misnomer. We got a 1-2 in Bahrain. Things fell away a little bit. In the next few races, we started to struggle. Felipe in particular started throwing away excellent positions and just dropping further and further down the order. We had to physically retire his car twice because he was just so far out of contention. But we hit back with a great 1-2 in Monaco and then a 1-3 last night at Baku. A fantastic result. So, or was it a 2-3? I forget now. Might have been a 2-3. Let me quickly double check that. Yeah. Oh no, it was a 2-5 even. But Felipe had to fight his way up the field a bit. So yeah, that was a strong race to get the podium. We were severely underpowered going into that Grand Prix compared to the rest of the field. I consider that a fantastic result to get a 2-5 last night. And now we head to Canada for the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. A Grand Prix that's one of my all-time favourites. Love this track, both in real life and in the game. And it's a circuit where I can historically do pretty well. And I think our car is a little bit better balanced for this circuit compared to Baku. So I'm expecting us to perform a little bit stronger, at least in qualifying, and then in the race. Well, who knows what can happen with strategy and with a safety car. Anything can happen. It does look, though, as though we might have a wet race, which is not ideal. Our drivers' adaptability ratings are low. So whenever the gets very low level water or very high level water, we are going to struggle in those transitional periods. When the water levels are settled, we should be okay. Yeah, this could go one of a couple of different ways. We'll have to see. Evening Marcel, evening Farah, Mr. Water, good to see you guys. Let's take a quick look. As a reminder, we did it briefly at the end of the stream last night, where our car sits on the grid in terms of performance. You can see our speed, pretty average. Cornering is very good in the clean air, not so good in the dirty air, but there's very little in the way of low-speed cornering here at this circuit, so that's not a big concern of mine. The only low-speed corner is the chicane leading up to the final hairpin. Everything else is medium or high speed. So I think we should be in pretty good shape in that respect. Our DRS is pretty strong as well. So hopefully we'll be able to churn out a decent result. It just depends how much rain we're going to get and for how long, I think. We'll do a quick check to see if we've got any points to spend. Our drivers are all blanked at the moment. Let's take a look at our staff. Nope, they're all done as well. So, let's go to Montreal.
Formula One is back in Montreal. Let's hope it's not going to be Groundhog Day. The local rodents have disrupted more than one race day here in the past. The Canadian Grand Prix is ready to kick off, and the only drama on the tracks we want to see is the best drivers in the world battling it out for a place on that podium. Gilles Villeneuve is a quick, free-flowing circuit in parts, with a stop-start aspect thrown in for good measure around the chicanes and hairpin bends. Medium-speed downforce will play a large part in avoiding the wall of champions and ensuring success at this iconic track. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. The weekend begins here.
And then we have confirmation of light rain on race day. That is a little worrying. We don't know how bad it's going to be yet. We'll just have to hope it's not too bad. Oh, we've got to set targets. Oh, bugger. Oh, well, too late now. Maybe we can set a position gain or something. we'll see. This is also a circuit where I have traditionally in the past taken penalties. One of the things we're going to do with challenge mode is not take penalties until we absolutely have to. So I need to add that into the rule description. But yeah, no preemptive penalties, just taking a new engine when we've still got 1 or 2 engines left that we can use. I don't know if we did that last season, but we are definitely going to do it this season. Farah's struggling in the heat. Yeah, it's been miserable here too, Mr. Water. It's, well, not miserable. It's not been great. It's a little gloomy outside at the moment. It's not been hot. Right, let's do the car parts first of all. So, engines, talking of, let's stick in the practice engines. ERS is fine, and gearbox, let's put the used gearboxes in. There we go. The run plan for Montreal is 21 laps, I think. Yes, 21 laps. There we go. And 21 laps. There we go. We need to put Isaac in the car, so we'll be taking Freddie out for this session. Land of a lot more than spiders, Farah. Land of many, many things that like to kill you. Right, let's take a look at the sliders and see what we're going to need. So this is looking like a 7.3 or maybe an 8.2 on the roll bar. Let's take a look at the other car. About the same, but a very, very low front wing. Okay. I'm looking at my Silverstone setups here. Okay. Roll bar wants to go the opposite direction. So let's go with a 2.5, an 11.5, a 2.8, a 3.3, and a 0.9. Okay, everything's in tolerance. Let's give that one a try. And for the car number 1, a little less severe on the front. Let's go with a 4, an 11.5, a 1.9, a 3.25, and a 1. There we go. So 2 different setups, and let's see which one is going to work, if either.
Ready to check? Ready to check. Okay, should be green now.
Alright, drivers are off whizzing around doing their thing. Let's hope they keep it out of the walls. And each other. And touch wood, those setups will be a very strong starting lineup for us, a strong baseline. We're into June, getting closer and closer to the release of games I'm interested in. The next one obviously being Dark Descent, which comes out on the 20th. Can't wait for that. Really, really looking forward to that. Just please don't be sucky. There are some games I have a passing interest in, or I have I'm definitely interested in, but I don't have any major expectations. I know Spider-Man's going to be good when that comes out later this year. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But you get other games that you get really you're caught up in the idea of it, or the the IP, and you really want it to be a success. But it's a small studio. It's a game that you might not expect to do well, and I just really hope Dark Descent does perform well. Oh, there we go. That's a 100% setup for Isaac there. That's excellent news. Freddy will be happy. What we'll do is we'll try and extend his stint till he gets his 500 and just keep him out on a single run, just to limit the wear on the car. Let's have a look at this one. 85%, needs a little bit more work, but that's not horrible.
Car in the wall.
Someone's crashed.
Yellow ahead. Robin.
It was
Let's
Ricardo.
take a look at the replay. Daniel Ricciardo involved here. Dear me, they won't have been expecting that.
They need to do away with stupid mistakes like that as well in the next game. That's just... Drivers wouldn't make that mistake like that. To lock up, avoid going into the wall, and then just suddenly twitch and drive into the barrier at the end of their return to the track. Yeah, they need to do away with animations like that. Oh, and obviously we're getting closer to the next installment in this franchise. Still would like more information, still waiting for Frontier to do some more video infos, maybe a live stream showing off some of their new stuff. We're going to go to a 12 on the rear wing for this car, so let's change this. Can I get away with a 4.6? That's probably a bit much. 3.05 and a 0.45. Yeah, that's not going to cut that enough. Okay, so let's go to a 3.7. Let's try a 3, a 3.7, a 3.15, and a 0.65. And then I can make some adjustments from there. So we want that to go that way, and then like that, I think. Yep, we'll try that. Oh, I didn't leave him out. Wasn't paying attention. I'll have to send him back out again. You hope they don't tamper too much with this part of the game. I think the mechanics of this section is going to stay pretty much identical. I think track knowledge is going to be replaced with the driver confidence system. So I'm wary of some of these new features that they've touted actually just being a rebranding of existing features, and I am a little worried that gaining track knowledge is just going to become relabeled and turned into driver confidence. We'll have to see. I mean, I've been championing adding in a confidence system of some kind for the drivers for a while, because it makes more sense. You have drivers that you are struggling to make overtakes, it's going to have a negative effect on their confidence level. You have drivers that are just breezing past, it's going to give them a boost to their confidence. If they're really happy with the way the car feels, if they're comfortable with the setup, that's going to give them a confidence boost. You know, if they're unsure about the setup, that's going to affect them going into the Grand Prix. There needs to be some kind of confidence system, and a string of bad results should also have a negative impact on confidence as well. And then a good result should have a boost to confidence. That is something I've been wanting to see implemented, for a very long time. How they're going to implement their confidence system remains to be seen. They haven't really gone into too much detail, so that's one of the things I am definitely curious about. But I do worry that it's just going to be very minor tweaks to what's already there and just a new label slapped on it. And I really hope I'm wrong in that. You might not like it, Farah, but it is realistic. You know, you've only got to look at Daniel Ricciardo, a supremely talented driver, but just lacked confidence when he was at McLaren, and just wasn't confident with the car, and just couldn't perform to the level that we knew he could. And it affected his driving style. It affected his results. You know, he got that one win at Monza a couple of years back, but that's how it is. And you know, if you get a driver that just consistently is underperforming, maybe it's time to get yourself a new driver. You know, that's kind of how Formula One works. Red Bull do that with ruthless efficiency, as I've mentioned many times. Look at Gasly getting promoted to the senior team and then immediately kicked back after 6 months. Alex Albon is another one. Daniel Kvyat as well. They called him up and then kicked him back down to the junior team. So yeah, these things do happen in real life. It'll be interesting to see if that kind of thing does materialize properly in this game. Right, let's see. Another thing I'd like to see would be friction between teammates. You know, you look at some of the big teammate rivalries that have gone on in recent years. You can look at Hamilton and Alonso, Hamilton and Rosberg, Daniel Ricciardo, not Daniel Ricciardo, sorry, Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel. You know, two drivers butting heads. Esteban Ocon and just about everyone he's ever driven with. You know, it would be nice to see, you know, some friction between the drivers as a thing. I don't think that's going to be in this game, but I mean, it's something I'd like to see maybe thought about and potentially introduced in a future installment of the game. I think that could be an interesting mechanic if it was done right. Right, 28 laps for Felipe, and we'll put him on hard tyres. And we'll go hard tyres. And 44 lap run for Freddie. And send them out.
Radio check.
Based on the screenshots that they've put out so far, I've seen a screenshot with Verstappen with a high confidence bar, or what looks like a confidence that's pushing up towards the high level, and I've seen a picture of Perez with a confidence that's pushing a little bit low, and it just shows -1 on 2 of his stats, just dropping them down a little bit. That looks to be how they're going to implement it. So it's kind of a reverse of gaining track knowledge gets you a boost to your stats. It looks like you're just going to have a baseline of stats, and if you get confident, you maybe get a little boost. If you lose confidence, then you maybe get a little negative on your stats. So it looks like you've got a flat baseline that can get a little bump or a little dip, you know, depending on where the confidence bar is.
Someone spun out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a true-to-life confidence thing, I don't think. But as long as the mechanic is employed in a way that makes sense, then I'm all for that. And like I said, the way it looks like from the screenshots that I've seen, it does seem to suggest that it's going to be that kind of thing where.
How does it feel?
Where you get a little bump or a little withdrawal on the stats with just a flat baseline, rather than you go in with a baseline that goes up by 3 in 5 different categories based on your track knowledge. That to me would make more sense than the current track knowledge thing, just giving you a boost to 5 different categories. I wonder why my drivers were so close to each other still, despite the difference in fuel loads. It's because I forgot to do that. I'm all for changes to the way the game plays if they make sense. They've got to make sense. They've got to have some basis in reality. And driver confidence is one of those things that really can affect a driver's performance.
Like we've had a spin.
So it makes absolute perfect sense to me to have a confidence system in the game. How they implement it is the important thing. All right, we're at 75% track knowledge with Felipe. His car knowledge is spot on. Need to work on the setup a little bit. We've gone the wrong way with braking stability, so let's pull that back to about there. And let's tweak that way. There we go. I like the look of that. So Felipe is done for this session. We're just waiting on Freddie to finish his run, which will be when the checkered flag falls.
Oh, there's a spin!
Oh, a spin for Leclerc and a big crash.
Take a closer look. Watch this. There's Leclerc.
That's not turn 1, that's turn 2.
That looked like a very nasty spin.
He's doing a little sideways shuffle. And there's somebody I think drove into him maybe. Let's see, was I right? Did someone drive into him?
Sounds like
No, maybe not.
Contact. Let's have a look. Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Oh no, it's a McLaren and a Haas. It's Norris.
And there's the collision. It's caused absolute
carnage. that Haas is proper fucked. That's punctures. That's probably broken suspension, broken rear wing, broken front wing. Yeah, that car's messed up. That's a write off, that car.
So virtual safety car will be ending.
Technical term there from me. Yes, you learn so much from me. For I am very smart, yay. I love that line from Randy in South Park when they're going on about the economy. He's dressed in his bathrobe to make it look like a toga, and for I am very smart, yay. The time for finger pointing is over. Finger pointing gets us nowhere. Steve. do we get up to track knowledge wise? 59. Yes, squeeze another lap in. So Lando, fresh off of crashing at Baku, crashes in first practice at Montreal. No, second practice. He already had new parts in his car, I'm going to guess. He's probably got even more new parts now. He's going to be starting well down the order, I think. Potentially. We've made the tweaks. We've got to see if they're going to work. Let's go to medium tyres for this session. Let's see. I want to go with a 32 lap run should be enough fuel. And for Felipe, we want to go 24 laps. It's probably more than I need, but good to be on the safe side.
Radio check. Radio check.
If you saw an Indiana Jones clip, I haven't seen the last season or two of the show, but unless they've done a new Indiana Jones episode, which I don't think they have, the one they did was many years ago, and it was around the release of Crystal Skull. That was the one where they had George Lucas and Steven Spielberg caught raping a stormtrooper, amongst other things, including Indy. Alright, the run that we've got scheduled in for Felipe is the perfect length, assuming that this setup is going to be 100%. Might have to call him in if it's not. And just about perfect length for Freddie as well. Got a VSC, someone has had an accident. Joe's out.
We've had a crash. Let's see what happened.
There are 3 indie movies, and that's it in your eyes. Yep, same here.
Yeah,
I watched Crystal Skull when it was on Netflix a few years back, and yeah, garbage. Terrible movie.
And that was a...
If you go back and look at some of the original movies with a modern eye, then you can find faults with those as well. But yeah, I look at those through rose-tinted nostalgia glasses because I watched them when I was a kid. One of my favourite memes I like to send around Christmas time is from Temple of Doom, and it's last Christmas I gave you my heart and you screamed Kalimar and it burst into flames. There we go. Felipe is done. Just waiting on Freddie. There we go. Freddie is done as well. So, good practice for us. No incidents. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come. And we've got our cars perfectly set up. So now we just got to worry about the weather. Hopefully we're not going to get too much rain, because it will hurt us. Of that I have no doubt. I would really love to be able to improve my drivers' adaptability, but they just need so much work everywhere else. It's much more important. What would I settle for tonight? I'll let you know when I see the weather forecast. If it was a dry race, I'd want to be in contention for the win, and I'd settle for a podium. A podium and a points finish, like we got last night at Baku, would be what I'd settle for. It's a wet race. I don't know. Like I said, it depends how heavy the rain's going to be, how much it's going to fluctuate, how long it's going to last. If it's constantly going up and down and up and down, then that's going to hurt our adaptability. If it stays at a relatively constant level, then we'll be okay with that once we get settled in. But I think probably a double points finish would be the best we can hope for, given that there's going to be rain, without a safety car intervention. And even with a safety car intervention, who knows? So yeah, I think probably points is what I'd settle for tonight. Russell has a a penalty as well as Norris. Any more further down? Stroll has a penalty as well. So that's 3 cars who will be out of the way a little bit. Let's get qualifying done. Let's put in the good stuff. There we go. The AI can do strange things. Yes, they can run really, really bonkers tyre strategies and run wets when it's inters and inters when it's wets. Who knows?
Radio check.
It is light rain that's forecast though, so I'm not expecting
It's green now.
chaotic strategy like that. You know, I'm expecting it to be a relatively low level of water, so everyone's going to probably box for inters around the same kind of time, and it's just going to be a case of how well you can make the inters last, I think, against boxing for fresh inters. Again, it all depends how long that rain lasts for. It might only last for a short period of time at the beginning or the end, or maybe even partway through the race. I'm kind of hoping it's going to come towards the end of the race, give us a chance to really maximise a dry strategy, go aggressive at the start, try and open up a bit of a gap if at all possible, or at least stay with a breakaway group and challenge for positions, and then maybe try and get an undercut when the rain comes, boxing ahead of the AI to get track position and take the lead that way, and then just try and hang on. But again, without seeing the forecast, I'm just kind of, you know, wishful thinking. And given that we don't know what the weather's going to do, I want to make sure we save the soft tyres as much as we possibly can, because they could be absolutely crucial. Right, let's go now. Ah, no, we mistimed it slightly. We're just a few seconds too late. All right, well, we've got our two teammates out in sequence. That's okay. Felipe is behind Vesti, so we'll make sure he does not try and overtake. He should get a very distant tow. And who are we following with Vesti? Looks like both of the McLarens. Yeah, we might get a distant tow from one of those McLarens. Which one is it? Is it Norris? Yes, it's Norris. Okay, time to start our one and only run in Q1. Fingers crossed we don't make a mistake, because that will mean we're out if we do. Hopefully there won't be a yellow flag in front of us, because that will probably mean we're out as well. We're not purple in the first sector, so we're not going to be threatening the top of the timing sheets. Not purple in the middle either, but that's where the low speed corner is. Looks like Hamilton's getting a tow off the back of that Ferrari. Yep, it put him top by 3/10. We come in 10th and 2nd. Ooh, wow. A slow lap for Freddie. A very quick lap for Felipe. Well, I say that 4/10 difference. That is quite a big gap between our two drivers. It's been a lot closer than that recently. So we need to make sure in Q2 we send Felipe out just ahead of Freddie. We need Freddie to get a tow. Because if that's his pace in clean air, he's not making Q3 on his own. And that's a little worrying. We do have Russell having a penalty ahead of us. Norris is a bit far back as well. Norris was slower than us. And Stroll's out already, so we haven't got to worry about Stroll. Let's go with our scrub tyres. So for the first run, we're going to do a scrub run. And we're going to give Felipe the tow. And then we'll switch them round for the run on fresh tyres. AI always seems to just slow the cars right down coming out the pit lane there. I don't know why. It slows them down to an absolute crawl. Alright. What kind of pace can we turn out? What did we do in the first session? We don't have Q1 data yet, for some reason. I can't remember what we did in Q1. Yeah, you can already see Felipe looking more comfortable through the corners. And obviously the slipstream on the straights is going to help him as well. What a good time for Felipe here, because, like I say, he's going to be towing Vesti on brand new tyres at the end. So we want him to get that rub here, just in case his run doesn't give him the boost he needs. That's not ideal. That's going to hurt both our drivers, but definitely Felipe more. Look how far he's dropped back. This is where that tow is really going to help him overcome that. Oh, and there you see, look, Freddie faster. That's how much time Felipe lost. He was faster in the first two sectors, and then we hit that AlphaTauri, and he lost so much time that he ended up, instead of gaining 2 or 3 tenths on Vesti at least, he ended up behind him in the standings. That's not so good. 1:11.8 effectively is our lap time. That won't be enough. Pretty confident of that. It was Sonoda who held us up. AI's running scrubs as well. They're going to go onto new tyres, so we are definitely going to have to run again, because they will. Let's get a little bit of a gap to the back of the field, hopefully. About as much of a gap as I can risk, because Gasly is coming around. Let's go now. I've got to switch my drivers and hope that, because I forgot to unswitch them, or turn off the don't get in each other's way. I've got to, Vesti is going to immediately spring past there, and I've got to immediately turn that off and flip it back round again, and hope that Drugovich will get back in front. It doesn't look like he's going to do. I don't really want to. I'm going to have to take manual control of my drivers here, I think. It's just a case of waiting for the right opportunity. I don't want to do it too soon, because I'll catch up the back of Russell very quickly if I do that. Let's try it here. Alright, there we go.
So we just need to push now.
Yeah, copy.
You can use energy.
Alright, this should be close enough for Vesti to get the
We
slipstream.
think we can lean on the tyres more.
And close enough to get a really good slipstream as well.
Energy if you need it. Love it.
It's just a question of whether he can stay close enough through the corners to really maximise that on the back straight. Right, checkered flag is out. Hamilton currently sitting provisional pole. Albon's crossed the line, he's 4th. Sainz stays 5th. Bottas stays 7th. Slight improvement in time. Ricciardo jumps up to 8th. Was that one of the Red Bulls? Or was that Perez? Sorry, Albon improving, I think. Here come the Red Bulls. Perez stays in 4th. Ocon's gone P2. Verstappen stays P3. Hamilton's looking quick. Again, it looks like he might have got a slipstream off the back of that Ferrari. And look how much Vesti has closed on the back. That's going to be a big boost. Puts him up to P2. Where is Felipe? Felipe's out. Oh, wow. Okay, so we do not have good pace in clean air. That is seriously worrying. That was clean air, no pressure for Felipe, and he is 7.5 tenths off. And he's going to be starting from 11th place. Norris is out as well. And Norris also has a penalty. I hope it's going to be 11th place because of that penalty for Russell. Right, so what can I do here? Well, I need to save those tyres, so I'm going to go 1 lap scrubbed run, and we're going to have to try and stay in someone's slipstream. Just hope that we can actually get a good qualifying position out of this. Because in clean air, we just do not have pace. And that's making me really seriously rethink my strategy already. Soft tyres are king here. It all depends on that rain. Just got to wait for some movement. And here it comes. Who can we jump out behind? Going to be out behind Hamilton. Oh no, I'm looking at I'm looking at Felipe's car. Hamilton, Vesti's already on track. He's out behind Ocon. Okay, that's okay. The Ferraris is going to get a slipstream on each other here. Perez in clean air. Everyone else is in clean air. Hamilton might be able to sneak another slipstream off the back of Bottas. I think we're a little bit too far away to get a slipstream off the back of Ocon. But the Ferrari is definitely going to be getting a nice little tow. Leclerc in particular. And if Sainz is slow, that might back up Leclerc and allow Ocon to get a slipstream there as well. Okay, once again, we have no idea how we're doing pace-wise. Look how tight the field is. Less than 3 tenths. Wow. Seriously tight. The top 5. Oh, wait, I'm looking at interval. There we go. That's a bit more like it, I was going to say. That just seemed a bit excessive there. Are we close enough to get a tow? I don't think we are. Leclerc is trying to overtake Sainz. That could hurt both of them here. Ocon went faster than them. We went P2. We did manage to get a distant toe off the back of Ocon. Just. We are P2. We are 7 tenths. 7 tenths off. Wow. That is scary fast from Verstappen. Well, there you go. There's our grid order. Russell will be starting P9 plus his penalty, so that could be a 3-place penalty for if it caused a collision, which would see him drop down to 12th and put Felipe up to 11th, or it could be a 10-place penalty, which would drop him down to 19th. But yeah, we are way off the pace. Even with that little slipstream that we just about managed to grab off the back of Ocon, we are still horrendously slow. Looks like Verstappen was tucked up behind Bottas there. Or was that Russell? That's Russell. He's tucked up behind Russell. That's why he was so quick. Okay, that explains it.
Welcome to race day. And before we get down to it, last-minute checks are being made.
Aston Martin performed well during the qualifying session, and they're rewarded with a good grid position for the race. It was a pleasure to watch Red Bull's excellent performance during qualifying. Their drivers will now be looking ahead to the race itself and hoping to capitalize. There's been some light rainfall throughout the day, which means that teams will want to make good use of the intermediate.
Oh, it's starting wet.
And each team will be hoping that fortune is on their side. So bon chance to them and their drivers for this Canadian Grand Prix.
All right, if it's going to start wet, how long is the rain going to last? Oh, it's going to last the entire race. Oh, okay. Now I'm potentially a little concerned. Let's take a look. It's going to say relatively consistent. Track water suggests about 3.5 mil. We're definitely going to need to do an interstop. So all those soft tyres that we saved, unless something dramatic happens and our weather system is way off, which it shouldn't be, then we're not going to be doing anything on dry tyres at all. So now it's going to be a case of just trying to stay with people, judging it right, and making the stops onto the inters. I'm going to try and stop around about lap 40. I think the AI will probably look to go to around lap 45, maybe even lap 50 before they stop. I'm going to try and box somewhere, maybe a couple of laps early. If we go to lap 37, see if we can get a little bit of clean air and with better grip, and try and undercut. A lot of work to do with Felipe in this race. Again, just delete these strategies. They are of no use to us whatsoever. And for Felipe, we'll try and do a bigger undercut. We'll go about lap 35 for him. He's got more ground to make up. I'll use the force and sort something out. I usually do. Well, we'll see. It would be nice. I'm going to take a lap of fuel out of the car. Canada is usually not too bad on fuel consumption, and we can save some fuel if we need to, running in slipstreams and stuff. I am going to use the battery and the tyres at the start, just to, if not gain position, certainly maintain position. And let's see how we do.
A smattering of rain, and the driver's now in position and waiting for the lights. Taking a look at the Aston Martin. With a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. There's the second Aston Martin. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. And we're just moments away now. The drivers are ready and raring to go. It's the Canadian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
All right, we're off. Vestes should hold position against Perez. Track level 3.48. It's a little high for us at the moment. That's why I'm pushing the car in these opening corners. Drogovic up alongside Ricardo. Track level is coming down a little bit. That's good. That's what we need. We need it to settle down to about 2.5 for our drivers to do well.
That's it.
Oh wow, Freddie's made a great start. He's got past Hamilton. Missed that overtake. Let's have a look at that.
We can take a look now. Let's have a look here.
Oh, nice. Got alongside at the end of the first sector, and then just with the battery was able to outdrag him, and then get up alongside Bottas into braking into the chicane.
There they go, moving ahead of the other driver. Back in the game.
Boys like that one. Can we make a move on Verstappen and then control the pace from the front?
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
We've already broken away a second from Bottas. We're up alongside. Job done.
Back off.
We're outside the slipstream. Okay, let's back him off.
Yeah, take it easy. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
So this was the move for the lead.
And there they go.
Pushing the tyres and using the battery to make the overtake, and then immediately turning them off as soon as we were alongside, because that move was done. Now we just got to hope he can hold him back without having to push. Track level is coming down a little bit. Under 3 now. Yeah, this is getting more into the territory where our drivers are comfortable in terms of water level, so this is good. If it stays around this kind of level and a little bit lower in the 2 range, we'll be good. If it goes up above 3, 3.5, we're in trouble. If it goes below 2, we're going to start struggling again as well. If it gets to 1.5, we are probably in a lot of trouble. Vesti holding his own up front, which is good. Means that we can focus our attention on Felipe. We can just get a little bit more battery in the car, and then we can look to push him and try and get past Albon and onto the back of the Ferraris. See Verstappen just having a little look at the back of Vesti there, but not committing to an overtake. That's fine by me. He can have a little look all he wants. This is the ideal level of water on the track for us, about 2.2. This is perfect. Don't want it to get too much lower than this.
Yeah, okay.
Use energy.
Okay.
This is good, come on.
Damn, yes, I am on mute. Talking all the way through that, and yeah. Whoops, my bad. Sorry, guys. Missed out on my pearls of wisdom there. Well, ravings of a lunatic, maybe. Yeah, I was giving really insightful commentary there as we were doing those 2 laps of trying to overtake and push, and we've got a yellow flag somewhere behind us. Norris maybe making a mistake?
And that's the lockup.
No,
Let's
Vettel.
take a closer look. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one. Just a bit too heavy on the brakes, and they've locked up. The team are devastated.
The team are devastated. He lost 1 position. So yeah, as I was saying before I realised I was muted, thanks to Mr. Waters' intervention there, we are going to have to be very patient with our pushing here. We can afford to be aggressive with Felipe's tyres because we are doing the more drastic undercut strategy of the 2. However, given the slipstreams, we've got a lock up somewhere in front of us, maybe. Oh, we've got a safety car. Okay, that's excellent. That allows us to immediately start saving. That means I can get Felipe recharged and on the back of Albon again.
Safety cars.
Yeah, as I was saying,
I think that was a crash.
the slipstream is cancelling out the effect of our ERS. So unless someone pulls out in front, oh, that's a big bounce. Yeah, that car's pretty screwed. That's got to be a retirement, I think. Yep, he's out. When we're trying to get the overtake on Albon, he's getting a really powerful slipstream off the back of Sainz in front. So unless Sainz steps out and tries to overtake Leclerc, or Albon goes defensive and pulls out of the slipstream, it's going to be very difficult to overtake him. So we're going to have to spend 2 or 3 laps pushing crazy to try and get past, and then we're just going to have to, as soon as we get past, go into recharge mode, build that battery back up, and then have another crack. It's going to be a very long, laborious process to move Felipe up. And this could be a short safety car, could be in at the end of this lap. The field is still pretty close together. It's going to bunch up almost immediately.
Got loads of energy.
Copy.
Hey, look at that, we've got an Aston 1-2. Could we get points for the safety car, I wonder? The race finishes behind the safety car. That should be 10 points for Aston Martin. Regardless of where we actually finish. Right, here's the car coming in this lap. Or are we going to get another one? Another one would be preferable. It's another lap of charging Felipe. Now, looks like we might get that extra lap. I don't mean this particular safety car, I just mean a safety car at the end of a race. I'm not saying we should spend the rest of the race like this, because Drugovich is nowhere. That would not be good for us. Rain creeping back up. And there we go. We've just about got Felipe fully charged by the time we get to the end of the lap. That's good. Are we going to get the green flag at the end of this lap? Yes, we are.
Safety car will be in this lap. Copy.
That worked out really nicely. We managed to get full battery back into Felipe just before the end of the safety car. I just want to make sure I hang on to the lead. And we're going to go very aggressive with Felipe.
Copy.
Push more.
Okay, copy.
Make sure we get a good restart.
Copy.
Hopefully the
No
field will
safety
stagger itself like this
Yeah, copy.
across the track on the restart.
can
So
use
we
energy,
have
use
the
energy,
opportunity here to maybe get a slipstream from one of the cars in
Yeah,
front,
copy.
like this. Get our way past Albon. Maybe. Go on, go on, go on, go on. No, he's backing out. Ah, coward. Now we're under pressure from Ricardo. Albon goes defensive. That's what we've been hoping for. Go around the outside of him, please. No, backed out again. Come on, we're getting the golden opportunities here.
They'll come to us.
Okay, copy.
Let's really go for it. There you go, alongside. Then you can use the battery to accelerate out ahead. Excellent stuff. No point trying here.
Good job. Yeah, take it easy.
Copy.
Energy if you need it.
Yes, copy.
Do everything you can, mate.
Copy.
Alright, maybe a chance here. Sainz goes defensive. Can we commit and go around the outside of him? Yes, we can. Battery deployment will get us the overtake. There we go. We're up on Leclerc.
Okay, good job.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race
Got a chance to
position.
do it again here as well. Going into the hairpin.
Yep, copy.
Leclerc goes defensive. We get the battery. We've got a slipstream from Ocon as well.
Currently P7.
There we go. That's what we like to see.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Now we need to go into recovery mode. Rebuild that battery, let the tyres cool down a touch, and have another go in the next few laps. Just got to be wary of Leclerc trying to retake the position. But a yellow flag. That's a McLaren again. I think, no, it's Sonoda.
Looks like there's been a lock-up. Let's have a look.
And that is not
Let's look
turn
at this.
14, that's turn
Focus on
1.
Sonoda. Well, they've lost it. They've locked up.
It's going to be a lap or two at normal pace now, just to close that gap back up to Ocon. Another lock-up. Zhou involved in a collision. Is this going to be another safety car?
Sounds like a few cars have crashed. We can take a look now. Now we see the Williams here.
Oh, he clipped Schumacher.
See the contact there.
I don't think we'll get a yellow out of that, a safety out of that. I think it'll just be yellow. Yeah, they're both up and running again already. That's a shame. Would have been nice to get a VSC there. Give us a chance to charge both of our drivers back up again. Save a touch more fuel. Save a bit more tyre life. Now you can see, because we've been pushing Felipe's tyres a little bit more warm than everyone else's, but Vesti on a par with the main field. That's good. He is pretty good at looking after his tyres. Oh, under pressure from the Ferrari. I just have to have a little squirt here. There we go. Hold that off.
Push a bit more.
Yeah, copy.
Have I given Leclerc a window here? Nope, managed to block him. Managed to save a little bit of battery there in probably the two highest deployment areas on the track. Coming out the hairpin and coming out the final chicane.
Pick up the pace a bit.
Okay, copy.
Let's close that gap back up again. I think we'll run a lap more just with normal deployment. Close at the front between Max and Freddie. Freddie just about holding on. That was a nice defence there. The track is getting drier. There we go. It's starting to get a little bit lighter again. A little bit wetter. What we want. We don't want it to get below 1.5. When it gets to nearly dry, it's the same as being almost fully wet. It's just an area where our drivers will really struggle with low adaptability. So we welcome a little bit more water, but not too much more. Like I said, around 2.5 is ideal for us. Ferrari doing a fantastic job here at the front. Exactly what I need him to do. Controlling the pace, not allowing the field to break away and us chase them. It's keeping keeping the opportunities available for Felipe to get into a strong position. And he's catching the back of Ocon again, which means we can start getting a bit more battery again. Schumacher's in the pits. I wonder what that was for. Track's drying again. Don't like to see that. Makes me worried about Leclerc. Actually, a bit too far off. And you were thinking earlier, that's always dangerous, Farah. I warned you about that. Your anticipation of games has diminished over time, whether that's due to age or bad releases. Yeah, I mean, to a degree, I think I'm a little bit the same. You are a little bit more impetuous when you're younger, I think. I know I was. There were certain games coming out that I just couldn't wait for, like the Grand Theft Auto games. Could not wait for those. And yeah, I'm excited for the next GTA game, but I'm also very wary of it. How much I, you know, have grown to loathe the current installment of GTA. Mass Effect 2 and 3. I didn't have the. I didn't have that for Mass Effect 2 because that was my first game and I kind of stumbled across it by chance. Not having an Xbox or a PC, I hadn't played the original Mass Effect. It wasn't available on PlayStation. I got hold of a copy of Mass Effect 2, played it, loved it, didn't really know what to expect from it, absolutely loved the game, thought it was fantastic, and I could not wait for Mass Effect 3. And then when Mass Effect was released digitally on the PlayStation Network, I then went ahead and bought a copy of that. Couldn't really jump into that because of how jarring it was to go from 3 back to 1 and the difference in the way that the game played and the controls. But you know, loved the story when I played the remastered version earlier last year when that came out. Was it last year? No, a year and a half ago now. And adored it. Blitzed through it. Absolutely loved it. I had real could not wait, you know, for the trilogy when it was announced, you know, for when they released that. But yeah, some games I still get really excited. I played Subnautica and I really enjoyed it. Didn't really know again too much about that. I deliberately tried to keep myself in the dark because I'd heard it was good, but I didn't want to give away anything. I wanted to just go into it kind of blind. Got hold of a copy of that and played that and loved it so much that I immediately pre-ordered the second one as soon as that was announced because I had so much fun with the original. It was a game that I hadn't had and it had such pure joy playing in a long time, you know, so I could not wait for the sequel to come out. Interestingly, actually, I saw another game announced today on PlayStation Network. Well, not on the network, on PlayStation's YouTube channel, PlayStation UK. I can't remember what it was called now. Surviving Earth, maybe? It looks very much, it's made by a different studio, but it looks very much inspired by Subnautica, but above ground instead. It looks very, very Subnautica, themed in the way that you've got to, it's a survival game, where you've got to design and build modules for your airship. I'm getting very strong Subnautica vibes from just the aesthetic and the way the game looks and the way it feels on that video, that I'm very interested in that, having heard nothing about it at all. It was on Kickstarter apparently, and there is a big demo of it on Steam. Cannot remember what it's called. Surviving Earth, I think. I only saw the clip about an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago, but I'm curious about that. Obviously I've got big hopes for Aliens Dark Descent. Really can't wait to get my hands on that. Earth Revival, that might be it. Yeah, so it was announced on the PlayStation YouTube channel earlier today. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, because that looks good. Right, let's see if we can close the gap.
We think we can lean on the tyres more.
Copy.
I don't really have enough battery for much more than one lap of push here. Hopefully we can get close enough to have a run out of turn 2. Or maybe at the start of the second sector.
They'll come to us.
Okay, copy.
Go on, get him under braking. Not quite. Ocon just moved slightly in front of us there. Be brave. Ocon did not go defensive. I needed him to go defensive. Maybe we can squeeze on the brakes. Get the launch. Can we even get Hamilton here as well? I don't think we can. And we're out of battery, so we've got to go into harvest mode. Let's calm the tyres down again.
Looks like Aston Martin.
We're up to 6th, so we're in the points now. That's good. Made some progress. You're equally excited about seeing 23 for the first time on this channel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the game, but I don't have that excitement that I had for this one, because this was brand new. Forever Skies. Yes, thank you, Mr. Water. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, it's a heavily irradiated Earth, and you have to go around looking for virus samples by the look of it to try and, I don't know, maybe come up with a cure or something. It looks interesting. I don't know a lot about it yet. I didn't really have time to look into it before streaming. But I don't have the same level of excitement for the next game for Manager 23 that I did for Manager 22, because Manager 22 was new, completely new, and something that I've been wanting to play for a very long time. This style of game. To the point where back when you had kind of like spectator mode on F1, F106, I think it was. I would actually I would just create spectator races, and I would choose the positions with the grid editor and choose who started where, and I would put a race on and just watch a replay, or watch the whole race run live, not actually being able to do anything at all, just sitting and watching and seeing what happened. So I've been wanting to play a game like this for decades, so that's why I had such huge excitement for this game last year. The next installment I'm looking forward to, it's going to be an improvement on this, but it's not a massive leap forward, so I'm not as excited. I don't have that same level of anticipation, but I am still, looking forward to the next installment. Right, the track is drying a lot. Got to be wary of this. We're getting into dangerous territory for Vesti here. Verstappen's going to be able to throw his car up alongside and get us under braking or acceleration in these conditions.
We just need to charge up.
Yeah, copy.
And you can see Drugovich dropping off the back of Hamilton as well. It's affecting him even worse than Freddie, because his adaptability is even lower. Yeah, I saw that little clip on YouTube just before I started streaming, and it grabbed my attention immediately because it just gave me big Subnautica vibes. And I had so much fun with that game that that immediately got me very interested in this new one from a different studio. Alright, water's coming back, that's good. That's what we want to see. We're getting close to Felipe's pit window as well. I'm starting to wonder whether I should actually go for the undercut quite so early or stick it out a little bit longer. I'm worried that I won't have the pace in clean air that I need, even with fresh tyres, to be able to make that undercut work. And if I push the tyres too hard to get the pace, when everyone else boxes, they're going to have a big grip advantage, and I'm going to just get overtaken. So yeah, this is a tricky one now. Not quite sure what to do. Max's constant threat. Can't really get a lot of charge in to Vesti, in any one go, just because it leaves him so vulnerable to getting overtaken by at least one of those Red Bulls. Fuel's not a concern. As you can see, we haven't done any fuel saving apart from a little bit under that two-lap safety car. And we've already saved almost all the fuel. And we didn't save a huge amount under the safety car. So I'm not worried about Felipe's fuel either. He should save that over the remainder of the race. And if absolutely necessary, I can give him a little squirt of lift and coast.
push more.
I don't think I can really risk putting any more battery in Vesti. I think he's got enough. I think we'll just have to leave him like this. I don't want to jeopardise his track position. And the more we push Felipe's tyres like this to get him to close up, the more we have to think about that undercut. And I'm going to need a full battery for that. But yeah, going back to your earlier point, Parrot, there aren't a huge number of games that I'm, you know, bursting to the seams with anticipation for. There are games I'm interested in, I'm a little excited for. I'm not bursting to the seams with anticipation for Spider-Man because I know it's going to be good. And it's a well-established franchise, and I've still got to play Miles Morales yet, so, you know, it's not high on the list of games I absolutely have to play anytime soon. I still need to play Ragnarok, and I know that's amazing, and I know I'm going to absolutely love it because I love the last game, but the last God of War game. But again, I'm waiting for that to come up on sale, which it hasn't done yet, before I pick up a copy. So I mean, there aren't that many games I can think of that I'm just dying to play. Apart from the ones I've kind of mentioned, you know, the biggest one being, oh no, Vesti! Ah, it's a lock-up, and that's going to cost him badly. It's going to cost him really badly. Ah, damn it. Man, no pressure. Well, he was under pressure. He's been under pressure since lap 1. But, you know, he wasn't pushing. He just, eventually, Verstappen's pressure just got to him. At least he didn't hit the wall. He's not damaged the car. He's got tyres to spare. And he's still in the points.
Push now.
I desperately want to get more battery into Felipe, but I just can't get him close enough to Hamilton.
Push a bit more.
Copy.
Tyres are starting to suffer. We are going to have to undercut him. And just hope that he can get himself into a good position and actually close the gap. Otherwise the undercut strategy is going to backfire horrendously. We're into we're getting close to his pit window. His pit window opens next lap.
So we're happy to let these tyres cool a bit.
Copy.
Got loads of energy.
Copy.
So back off.
Yeah, copy.
At the very least, what we have done is we've broken Ocon and the Ferraris a little bit. I'm just on the cusp of being able to sit in that Hamilton slipstream. I think the pace at the front has upped a little bit since we skipped out the way as well. Let's have a look and see what Verstappen does across the line. There's a 121.8. Maybe not. I mean, the weather's fluctuating, so that makes it a little harder to tell. Let's see, what were we doing? Lap history. We were doing 120. So the pace is about the same. We were doing a 121.7 then a 121.3, but with different water levels. The water level's gone up a little bit, so yeah, maybe it's a tenth or two quicker, but not earth-shatteringly faster than when we were in position. So yeah, now we just got to hope that this undercut for Felipe is going to work. Vesti, we're going to keep out a few laps longer. We might still do a bit of an undercut, but we'll use Felipe as a barometer of pace. We'll see what he can do once he gets into clean air with fresh tyres. The rest of the field is about 70%, so we'll have a nice big grip advantage. But the earlier we go, the more we're going to suffer at the end of the race. Yeah, if we can undercut, look after the tyres and still lap faster, that would be perfect.
Okay, energy's good.
I don't know if we can get away with that though. Actually getting close to Vesti's pit window as well.
Just lift and coast.
Copy.
I want to try and switch my drivers without holding up too much or lifting too much. I think that's just about worked. Yeah, that's just about worked. We're able to stay in Vesti's slipstream. Vesti can close up onto the back of Hamilton.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Copy.
Alright, one more lap. And then we're going to box ready. Felipe.
Happy to push.
Yeah, copy.
Don't fight. There we go. He'll stay behind. That means Vesti won't have to drive defensively.
Box, box.
Yeah, copy. One.
Get the tyres down now.
Yep, copy.
Hamilton's moved up ahead of Bottas. Vesti's almost on the back of them again. Again, track's drying up a touch. Alright, there we go. Vesti has caught up. Let's go back into tyre pace normal. Crucial stop this for Felipe. Nice and smooth. 2.4, that's a good stop. Should get out ahead of Vettel. So I'm going to have clean air. Cannot push these tyres. Not yet, anyway. Right, so we did about the same sort of pace as Vesti last lap, so in the 119, 120 kind of range. Let's see what we can do on a clear lap. So not this lap, but the next lap will be our indicator of actual pace on these new tyres. Track almost dry. Changeable conditions like this that will hurt us a little. Luckily Vesti is close enough to be able to get the slipstream. I'm going to ignore for now. I want to see what kind of pace Felipe's got. And there you see just how much time we lost. We lost 3/10 coming out of that corner in conditions like this. This is where we're going to start to struggle. Need the track to get wetter again. It's another couple of tenths lost. Yeah, we've lost almost a second on this lap. Pulled a little bit back there, but still not great. And looks like Felipe actually lost ground to Norris. Again, conditions weren't great. Need the track to get wetter again. There we see we were 6/10 slower than Bottas on that last lap. Drugovich a 1:21.3. I don't know if that was a genuine lap time or not. This will be more telling. A 1:20.3. There we go. That's a bit more telling. That's clean air. That's without the slipstream. That's not quick enough. That's partly because the track was drying. Now it's getting wetter again. We should see Drugovich's pace relative to everyone else start to improve. But again, we are still dropping off. We've lost another half a second this lap with the conditions as they are. I'm going to have to push Freddie just to get him back into the slipstream. If I lose that, I'm in trouble. And I'm thinking of boxing Freddie in about 2 laps' time. Right. A 119.9, so he's slightly quicker than Norris. Norris obviously in the back of that slipstream train in front. Track still isn't really in the right position for us to really capitalise on these new tyres, which is frustrating as hell. We are going to get a little spike of water, hopefully, in the next lap or two. But Drukovic is currently slower on fresh rubber because he's not in a slipstream. The track is still too low. So 119.5 for us with Vesti. What can Felipe do? And 119.9. So he's quicker than Norris now, but still too slow. And now we're getting some water. And this is the lap I'm going to box.
We just need to charge up.
Sorry.
I'm expecting the AI to probably go about another 10 laps before they box. There we go. 2.1. That's perfect. That's perfect. Freddie's probably going to stay ahead of Felipe here. Yeah, he is. By a couple of seconds. Yeah, that just goes to show. We did a 120.6, so we were lapping on par with Verstappen. It's not quick enough, but it's quicker than the guys that we're chasing down. So we are closing on Norris by about half a second a lap. I'm not so sure we can actually get this done as an undercut. Let's push Felipe onto the back of Vesti. But you know, we do want him to stay and not overtake. We don't want Vesti driving defensively, we want him driving at full pace. So 119.8 against a 121.3. Yeah, it's because we were battery pushing. 121.7 for Vesti, but it wasn't a genuine lap because he was coming out of the pits. So the gap is just under 8 seconds. We're getting really good traction out of that hairpin there. which baffles me as well, because that's the slowest corner on the track. Well, one of the slowest corners on the track, and it's a medium speed corner. And the only slow speed corner is the chicane leading up to the hairpin, and not, you know, turn 2, which is the slowest corner on the track. There. That's the slowest corner on the track, I think, or very close to the hairpin if the hairpin is slowest. And yet those two are medium speed corners. It's very strange how they've worked that out. So we did a 120.8, again, half a second gained, and this time half a second gained on Verstappen, so looks as though we are starting to close the gap. Let's see, we are 17 seconds off the lead. We need that to come down a little bit more. It's a pretty short pit lane here. I think you only need about 15 seconds for a pit stop here. Maybe a touch more, maybe 16, 17. But we're not really in a position to get the undercut just yet. And their tyres are now dipping below 60%, so their pace should start to suffer now. So we should start nibbling away at them, bit by bit each lap. And I'm toying with the idea of letting Felipe go ahead. See if he's quicker. There we go. Let's see what you can do, Felipe. Are you faster? You were in quali. Track's drying again, 1.6. I don't like that. Wetter track, please. Six-tenths faster than Norris. With the track changing its conditions like this as well, it's hard to, if it doesn't stay stable lap on lap, it's hard to see whether or not switching our drivers was the right call pace-wise. It might be that I'm better off putting Freddie back in front because of his adaptability being a little bit higher, but if the track gets wetter again, we definitely want Felipe in front. Looks like it's about to get a little bit wetter. We'll leave Felipe in front for now. But if it starts drying up again, we'll have to swap them back over. At least get Freddie's battery fully charged again.
Loads of energy.
121.2 for Norris. 120.0. Now that's the kind of gains that we want to see. We lapped half a second quicker than Verstappen, and we gained over 1.2 seconds on Norris. Well, almost 1.2 seconds on Norris. Now we're 16 seconds and 16.5 seconds off Verstappen. We are getting inside of his pit stop window. Bit by bit. Not quite there yet, I don't think. I think we need to get another couple of seconds yet, but we're getting closer. The track's getting wetter. This is going to come to us. Gap to Norris just 4.5 seconds now. This now becomes the next problem, is getting through that group of cars up to sights. 6 cars we've got to get past before we can try and hunt down Verstappen and his group. On 20.6, a couple of tenths faster than Verstappen again, nearly a second faster than Norris. If we can get track position, we should hopefully be able to hold it with at least one of our drivers. So even though we're currently running 12th and 13th, we are very much fighting for the win here. Because if the AI is going to stop, it's going to drop them potentially behind us. If they don't stop, we're going to completely overpower them with tyre grip in the closing stages. But we can't afford to hang about. We've now got both drivers inside 16 seconds. Need another second or two, I think, just to be sure. It's a tense race, this one. We're just about doing enough at the moment, but that's assuming that they're going to stop. If they're not going to stop, we should have the grip to overpower them, but we've got a lot of cars to get through to get to them. Could go either way. Maybe they won't stop. Maybe they can stretch their tyres the full race distance. Well, we're practically on the chasing pack here. Second faster than Norris on that lap. Half a second faster than Verstappen on that lap. Both our drivers are now at the 15-second mark. And if I do see anyone break with a box, I'm immediately slapping these cars into full power. Two-second gap to Norris. And I'm going to swap my drivers back over. Because I want to get Felipe charging back up. I just realised his battery is not ideal. Freddie's ready to go. He's ready to immediately attack. Eight tenths out of Verstappen on that lap. Unfortunately, Felipe lost a fair chunk of time pulling over like that, but had to be done. Track's drying up again. Another reason why I wanted to get Vesti in front. It's got the better adaptability. He's going to be able to cope with this a little bit better. "20 laps to go."
So we just need to push now.
Okay, copy.
New fastest lap for Felipe. Freddie straight on the attack. That's good.
So we're happy to let these tyres cool a bit.
Copy.
And we're going to get the slipstream from the car in front. Thank you, Ricardo. Tyres, I'll do that in a second. I just want to try and make the most of this little run that we're on here.
They've moved up a place.
New fastest lap for Freddie. Come on, get him here. There you go. Little twitch there in the braking zone. I don't know. They might go to the end. The AR likes to run their inters to about 30%. They haven't worn out as quickly as I thought they were going to. We are out of battery. This is our last chance before we have to charge up again.
We need to charge here.
We're not going to get it. So let's calm those tyres down. Let's go back into harvest mode. Let's work on getting past Norris. There we go. And let's punch up onto the back of Russell.
Good job.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Do everything you can, mate.
Okay, cover.
Yeah, take it easy.
Not able to make the move because Bottas is getting Russell is getting a very strong slipstream off the back of Vesti while Vesti's charging up. So we'll do the same with Felipe. "17 laps. "13.5 seconds. Yeah, we can do this if they stay out. We've got the grip. It's just being able to get those moves. Track is not in our favour in terms of conditions yet either. Alright, we've got Schumacher coming up here to be lapped by this group. That could make things a bit interesting. There's Schumacher, there's the two Ferraris. Let's see if we can capitalise on this.
Copy.
Yeah. Oh man, what the hell's going on here? Okay, well we got past one of them. Can we get past Ricardo here as well? If we can get alongside, we can stop him squeezing us. Yep, we're alongside. Okay. So now we've got to chase down the Ferraris.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
They're not going to stop, so I'm going to push their tyres.
Happy to push.
Copy.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Yeah, that was kind of a bit messy.
Pick up the pace a bit.
Yeah, copy.
AI not really sure what to do there. Drogovic did get past Albon.
So this was the Aston Martin.
Got side by side on the main straight. That's excellent stuff. So that's one less car to worry about.
Rears are hot.
Copy.
Already we're a second away from Ricardo now. Closing in on those Ferraris very quickly. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. That's Verstappen. Has he hit the wall? Oh no! No! Felipe!
Here's the replay. Let's have a look here. This is Aston Martin.
I heard the screech and I knew it was Felipe as soon as I saw how quickly he was closing.
See the crash. The team are
Can he keep going? He can.
disappointed with that. Let's hope it
He's got a
doesn't set them
puncture.
back too
How
badly.
much other damage has he got? Minor chassis, minor suspension, major front wing. So, got to box him. There's still a chance that we might be able to salvage something if a safety car comes out. I don't think it will. It's a long way to the pits as well. And we got a penalty as well.
I think there's been contact on the track. Let's take a closer look.
How much damage did we do to Russell? Oh, we barely clipped him. But we got a penalty for that. Alright, so it's all on Freddie again.
Okay, copy.
Felipe's not going to score points without a safety car now. Is this another crash?
We just need to charge up.
Yeah, copy.
Was that another crash, or was that just him getting warned about the crash that Felipe had? I think it was just getting warned about the crash Felipe had. Look how far off Sainz has dropped off the back of Verstappen, though, who hasn't pitted. What conditions is his car in?
Pit lane.
Copy.
Front wing looks intact. No, it's missing an end plate. What are his tyres looking like? His tyres looking fine. Felipe's just about going to stay on the lead lap. He's going to get to hammer those tyres. That's all he can do now. He's got 12 laps to try and do something.
Use energy if you need it, use energy.
I'm going to try and punch my way past one of these Ferraris at least. Go on, go brave. No. No point burning the battery on this straight here, but I will on the exit of the chicane.
You can stop lifting.
Oh, I thought we had him for a second then.
So use energy.
Come on, get him here, get him here. Falling further and further off the back of Perez now. Go on, complete the move. Thank you. I really need to push straight past the next one as well.
That's it.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Got him. Killed my battery to do it, but I got him. Right.
Looks like Aston Martin
Felipe's doing 119.4s at the moment.
Some lift and coast will help that.
So he is flying on brand new tyres. But he's so far off the back, I don't think points are going to be possible. Freddie's only just in the points. He's 17 seconds off the leaders. They've got 11 laps to go. This is going to be a lot harder than I thought. We were doing well until we came up against that group with, the group came up against Schumacher, and then everyone just ground to a complete stop, and we lost so much time there. I think we could have been in contention for the win. Now I'm not so sure. Now I don't know if we're going to be able to catch in time. Drogovic is already through past Joe. 2.5 seconds to Magnussen. He should get him in very quickly. I am currently lapping about a second faster than Perez. That's not enough. I'm going to have to really push the tyres.
You can use everything from the tyres, use everything.
A 118 from Felipe there. We need that kind of pace from Vesti. Now he's in clean air as well. He should be able to blitz away from the Ferraris, especially with this extra tyre push. Big tyre advantage. Have we left it too long though? Should we maybe have put it earlier? We did a 1:19.0. Well, that's excellent. That's the pace we need. Track's drying up again. That's not what we need. That's going to exacerbate the overheating of these tyres. They're going to start melting.
Get back off.
Okay, copy.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Straight up the inside. Beautiful move. And rockets away.
A bold move indeed. And with that, they've gained a position. That was a big moment.
14 seconds to get to Sonoda. And then that little group of three, they are 23 seconds off the back of Russell. And that's from 13th to 12th. So, yeah, without a safety car, nothing's going on for Felipe. I'm going to stop.
Yeah,
I'm going to stop pushing those tyres because I'm just putting extra strain on the engine with him. But with Vesti, we've got a chance. It's a slim chance now, but we've still got a chance of getting on the podium. Tyre temps are okay at the moment. I'm going to go back to a full push then. 1:18.4. That's almost 2 seconds faster than Perez. 1.9 seconds faster. Gap is 13.5. We've got 9 laps to go, including this one. If we can keep this pace in comparison to them, we'll catch them and have enough pace to pass them. But with the track about to dry like this is bad. Means they're going to start getting DRS unless it starts raining before the next DRS zone. They won't get it here.
DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled.
Yeah, they're not getting it on this straight. But if it doesn't start raining before the next DRS straight, they will get DRS. And it is going to get wet, so I can't box for slicks and push like crazy on slicks. Hamilton making a move for the lead with DRS. It's alongside. Gets the move just about done. Perez is going to have DRS on the back straight. To be honest, I'd rather Hamilton was in front because I'm fighting Red Bull in the Constructors and Hamilton is a little bit slower than the Red Bulls, I think. So having a slower car at the front helps. And if he's good at defending, which Hamilton is, that'll keep them behind, slow everything down. Gives Vesti that little extra chance to maybe close up. $1:19.4. You can see conditions like this are just melting the tyres and not giving us the pace we need. Only 8 tenths up on Hamilton because he had the DRS, but now the DRS is disabled just in time for the next DRS zone that they're hitting. And it's going to come back to our favour a little bit in terms of the tyres because we have significantly more grip still. They're not boxing. We have to do this on track. I kind of want to box Felipe, but if we do, for whatever reason, get a safety car in the next lap or two and it closes the field up, he's going to have tyres so much better. Verstappen boxes. He's gone slicks. What? What? Is he mad? He's gone out on slick tyres. In the worst possible... Well, not the worst possible conditions, but... it's over 2 mil of rain. He's going to be so slow. He's going to have to box again at the end of the lap. We're up to 5th. One less car to worry about. Is anyone else going to box for some bizarre reason? The gap is 10.3 seconds to the front. We were 1.7 seconds faster on that last lap. It's still doable, just... Verstappen is just struggling like crazy. He's going to have to box again. Those tyres are just useless in these conditions.
5 more laps. 5 more laps.
5 laps to go. We're 8 seconds behind. And we are lapping 2 seconds faster. So we'll be on the back of these guys in 3.5 laps. And that'll give us a lap and a bit to try and fight our way through. There's Verstappen back into the box. He's going full wets. Oh my god. Somebody at Red Bull's getting fired. It's about 2 mil. It's very much interweathers. What tyres should we put on? Let's put on softs. Softs aren't working. Okay, let's go full wets. Oh man. It's all locked up. It says sector 2. It's at the wall. It's a Ferrari. It's a safety car. I wasn't quick enough. I was going to box Vesti for fresh tyres while he had the chance.
There's contact. It's chaos on the track.
I can still do it. I can still do it on this lap. I can box him, put on brand new inters. I think we might... Actually, no. I'm going to wait. We might see the rest of the field box. If they do, I should just about get out ahead of them. Who retired? I missed it. Sainz. It was Sainz. I knew it was a Ferrari, I just didn't know which one. Albon's in the box. Leclerc's got a penalty. So if he boxes, he's losing time. Max is holding up a big queue in front of Drogovic. Just in case.
Energy's good.
No.
Copy that. Box.
There they are.
Sonoda is pitting this lap.
Are they boxing? If they're boxing, I'm staying out. If they're not, I'm boxing. They're not boxing. I'm boxing. I'm going to put on fresh inters and just hammer them. I'm only going to have maybe one lap, but I'm just going to hammer them.
Reminder on pit limiter.
I've got a big enough gap over Ricciardo to get out in front of him. Come on, don't do me over like that. There we go. That was closer than it should have been. No point boxing Felipe. He is... he's on almost new tyres. The Master Collection is Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, and Metal Gear 3 Snake Eater. Yeah, that's a definite future exciting purchase for me. I can't wait to play Metal Gear again. Or Metal Gear Solid again, as I should say. That's one of my all-time favourite games. Phenomenal game. Right, I really hope the safety car comes in at the end of this next lap. It's not going to come in this lap, but next lap I want it to come in, so I get 2 laps. No, I'll get 1 lap. To just go balls to the wall and throw everything I've got at the cars in front. Tyres, fuel, battery, the lot. And maybe, if I'm really lucky, I can maybe salvage something with Felipe. Probably won't be able to get him into the points, but Verstappen's still out there on full wets. Snowder's on full wets as well. Don't tell me, no, it can't be out of Inters. That's just bizarre.
2 more laps, 2 more laps.
Need the safety car to come in this lap. Otherwise, this is all for nothing. Lap cars will be allowed to overtake. That is Schumacher. He's the only one who's lapped. And he's not even on the back of the train yet. Oh, he is. I'm looking at Magnussen. That's Magnussen there. So yeah, Schumacher will be able to overtake his way through. Is he going to, though? We saw this not work. Was it last night or the night before? It was the night before. It was at Monaco, wasn't it? Closing laps of Monaco. Didn't overtake. It doesn't look like he's doing it here either. So this means I get the feeling the safety car's not going to come in this lap, which is going to be brutal if that's the case.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Copy.
Please tell me that the safety car's coming in this lap,
They'll come to us.
Yeah, copy.
because Schumacher's not going to overtake anybody. He's not going to unlap himself. I need the car to come in. It's not coming in. I'm going to swear. Fuck. 5th place. And that's it. No overtaking before the start-finish line. So 5th and 14th. Can't even retire for the final lap. That's so annoying. We had the grip, we had the battery, we had the fuel, we had everything to just demolish all 4 of those cars in front of us. We'd have just steamrolled past them. I mean, look at the grip difference there. 60%, over 60%. Worst stream so far. That's just because Hamilton's going to get the win. I can see right through you. But hey, it's not a Red Bull that's winning. And Verstappen's not getting any points. Whereas Vesti is. So Vesti, even though he's only going to get 2 points, is going to increase his lead at the top over Verstappen. Not sure whether we'll be able to hold the lead in the constructors, though. I'm not going to look. We're going to wait and find out at the end of the Grand Prix. We are so disappointed. I needed that safety car to come in on lap 69. To have that one lap to just attack, go full out attack. If we get really lucky, we might. Well, no, it won't let us overtake until we get past the line.
Copy.
Use energy.
Copy.
Leclerc's got a penalty, so that's going to drop him back 5 seconds. So that's effectively going to relegate Verstappen.
There is no
Not Leclerc, Verstappen. Leclerc's going to relegate him down to the back of the grid.
Yeah, copy.
There we go. Closest finish. Can I skip the podium, please? It won't show a podium because we're not on it. It'll just show us celebrating in the in Parc Fermé. Strategy, I think, was the right one to do stop it and go for the undercut, but
Today, Aston Martin demonstrated that they can go very far indeed.
That's right, they've made some fine strategic decisions here.
we just got unlucky with that safety car at the end.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
For the next round, we're heading back to the heart of the UK. Get ready for a race to remember in Silverstone, the cradle of Formula One.
So, yeah, a little bit of a disappointing end to the race. Obviously, a very disappointing race for Farah for very different reasons. Hamilton winning, and we're only 5th. We did get the fastest lap, but that's meaningless. It's just bragging rights. Felipe promoted up to 13th thanks to that penalty for Leclerc, which drops him all the way back to 16th. I'm surprised he actually managed to stay ahead of Zhou, but only just. He was almost the only car left on the lead lap. Sainz and Gasly both failed to finish, so another disappointing race for Ferrari. Another disastrous race for them, really. Max as well. What the hell was going on with strategy there? You know, boxing with 2 millimeters of rain on the track for slicks, for fucking soft tyres. It just beggars belief, and then coming in a lap later and putting on full wets. Just utter insanity. Crazy. We do stretch the lead at the top of the Drivers' Championship by 2 points. So we now have a 4-point lead over Max going into the next Grand Prix. Felipe hangs on to 3rd despite not finishing. Checo's 2nd place gets him to within 1 point of Felipe. Good points for Bottas, moves him up as well. He is 3 points off the back of Perez. He's closing in on Felipe as well. Big points for Hamilton. Jumps him up 3 places onto 21 points. That brings him into the mix for this 3rd place battle. Norris, Leclerc, Russell all falling places. Ocon closes the gap to them a little bit with his points there, but not enough to really challenge anybody. And Ricciardo gets another point. So not a bad day for Alpine. They picked up 4 points. That's not bad considering it's only 6 places that pay points. So that's a good day for Alpine indeed. Into the Constructors' Championship. Let's have a look. We do hang on to our lead in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull only gained 4 points on us, thanks to those 2 points gained by Freddie there. So they are just 5 points behind us. Big points from McLaren sees them jump Mercedes and move up to 3rd. It looks like it's going to be a 2-horse race at the front and then a 2-horse race for 3rd if things carry on like this. You know, McLaren and Mercedes battling for 3rd, us and Red Bull battling for the lead of the constructors. Ferrari, again, another bad race for Ferrari. They don't have a great car. Their drivers aren't performing at the moment. It's all going wrong for them this season. They're on 17 points. They are so far off us and Red Bull. It's and they're 20 points off McLaren. That's 2 race wins off McLaren. That's a big gap. Alpine, big points for them, pulls them clear of Alfa Romeo, and does actually close the gap to Ferrari a little bit. Another great race from Freddie. Just a little disappointing with the lockup. It hurt him. It didn't hurt him as bad as it could have done. It was the safety car that hurt. But ultimately, the biggest thing that hurt us was trying to lap Schumacher. That cost us so much time. We could have been right on the back of them and maybe threatening to overtake before the safety car had even come out, if we hadn't lost all that time when the group that we were in just could not figure out how to overtake one car. It was almost like the Benny Hill show. And we go into Felipe's breakdown. He had an exceptional race. I wouldn't say it was exceptional. I mean, he performed well when he didn't crash, but he crashed again. I still need to work on his braking, it would seem. And Isaac gets some points as well. Yeah, bit of a mixed bag today. We do make sure we get all of our sponsor stuff done, so it's another 5.8 million in the bank. That's always nice. So let's go ahead and allocate that point out to Felipe. Push his braking up to 84. Hopefully at 85 he will calm down again, just like Freddie's been nice and stable at 85. He only buckled once under intense pressure from 30 laps of Verstappen breathing down his neck. That's pretty good going. Let's just have a look at our staff. No points for our staff. Let's give Isaac another point as well. Let's start working on his cornering. Pit crew. Let's check in with the pit crew. Up to 58 on wing adjustments. Need that to improve. Want to get that up to about 65, 70 if we can before the season ends. Facilities. We've got our upgrades going through. Nothing is broken at the moment. We've got 12 mil in the bank. Let's take a look at our inbox. A difficult race, yeah, bit disappointing. Not the greatest of results, but we're hanging on to the lead in both championships, so, you know, it's not the end of the world. In terms of upgrades, we do have upgrades coming for the next Grand Prix. Silverstone, which will be Tuesday's race. We've got a new rear wing and new side pods, and I think, if memory serves, that is a major rear wing upgrade. Let's just check the current projects. It is. That's a major rear wing upgrade coming. So that should hopefully really boost our speed. And then a minor side pod upgrade coming. And then we've also got a major underfloor going through. That is going to be in time for France. So that'll come at a really good time for us. So yeah, we're close to getting a couple of extra upgrades on the car. Let's go ahead and get those on now. And we'll see what things are looking like going into the next race. Ahead of next week's stream. The rear wing is done. Let's go ahead and build that. So that's going to be quite a nice improvement. That's going to really help our top speed, boost our acceleration a little bit. It's going to improve our low speed cornering in the clean air. It's going to give us a significant boost in dirty air, which was important because we've been struggling in the low speed there. Up 4 places, medium speed boost and a high speed boost as well, and it improves our DRS top speed nicely as well. That is a very, very useful rear wing. Got 9 days, so we're going to want 3 of these minimum. Let's go 4 and rush, and then we'll get 4 in time for the Grand Prix, because we're probably not going to do another rear wing upgrade for the rest of the season. Now we might do another minor one later, but there are other things that we need to work on before we get there, I think. Let's see. That's that taken care of. 5 days to the side pods. How many engineers have I got available now? I've got 5 days the next ATR period, so we'll hang on. We're not going to do another upgrade just yet. I think I've already done a major chassis upgrade, haven't I? Let me have a look. Yes, I have. That's a shame because our chassis is still pretty weak. We could have done with a big improvement to the chassis. We'll have to put a lot of research into that for next season. We have got a major suspension upgrade available, so that might be the next one we do. And we can do a major front wing and a major side pods. So those are the three majors that we've got left: a front wing, a side pods, and a suspension. After that, it's just minors. So let's wait 5 days. 5 days will get us the side pods and the start of a new ATR period. We've got our scouting done on these guys. Let's go ahead and do some more scouting. Scout Jeff Spear. That's a Formula 2 engineer, I think. Mario Gargiulio is definitely an F2 engineer. Currently out of contract. Andrea Tezzi. Matthias Spinney was the Alpha Tauri engineer who is now out of contract and not able to get a job anywhere else, it would seem. Jan Summan is an F2 engineer. And Alan Kale is also an F2 engineer. We'll scout him too. And that's all 6 of my scouts active. Warning about suspension. I should probably have checked that. Okay, well, we can emergency manufacture a couple if we need to. Let's get these new side pods done. These do need to be emergencied because they're going to take way too long. Even rushing them, we're not going to get them in time. So we're just going to emergency 2 of those, get them out of the way. We've got the funds for it. There we go. Let's get those. Did we actually fit the rear wing? I don't think we did. No, we didn't. So let's install that on car 2 and install the new side pods on car 2. And we can have a direct comparison between the upgrades against what we've got at the moment. And now we've got hours to spend. So let's go ahead and look what needs the major upgrade more importantly. The front wing, the suspension, or the side pods. The front wing is pretty strong. The side pods, the airflow is poor, but everything else is okay. It will help with our top speed. What about our suspension? Oh, our suspension is terrible. We need a major suspension upgrade. We just need to boost everything because everything's terrible. There we go. So that will give us some decent gains. It'll improve our cornering. This is based on our car 1 performance. Let's see what that does to our car 2, which has got the new stuff fitted. That will improve our medium speed, dirty air performance, and our brake cooling a little bit, but only minimal gains everywhere else. Yeah, our suspension's really lacking. Even this isn't going to do that much. It needs to be done. I'm just going to have a quick look at doing a side pods first though. What impact would major side pods have on the car? It's already looking a bit more significant. Improve drag reduction, improve engine cooling, improve our airflow. Again, that's not having a massive improvement on the car. Not as big as I was expecting. Alright, let's go with the suspension. We need that more. Or do I go front wing? Let's see how long a front wing would take. This will definitely give us a speed and downforce improvement. And then maybe we'll work on the suspension and the chassis and the side pods just to improve the cooling in the closing stages of the season. Definitely want to improve low speeds. Definitely want to improve brake cooling. I want to improve high speeds, medium speed a bit. Don't want to overdo it. That's going to impact my dirty air performance positively and slightly negatively on my medium speed. Let me take a little bit off the front airflow like that. That's going to have a positive impact on my speed, but a negative impact on my cooling and my low speed performance. It's going to make us mighty in the corners. If we do that, I can probably even dial this back a little bit more as well. I need that to improve my low speed dirty air cornering. This is not going to give us much of a. It's not going to give us any speed boost, but it is going to improve our downforce and improve our brakes a little bit. I don't know what to go for. I think we've got to go for this, given the mistakes our drivers are making under braking. Giving us a big brake boost like this is going to be important. So we'll do this one. We'll get the front wing major upgrade out of the way. No. I'll do a minor front wing. I'll do a major suspension. We've only got one minor suspension upgrade left. We've got two minor front wings left, and a major as well. So we'll save the front wing. Putting all this hours into the suspension means that the next upgrade is probably not going to be an improvement. So it makes sense to go ahead and get this done now. Because, say, just doing a minor upgrade following a major upgrade like this is probably actually going to have a negative impact on the performance. So this will probably be the last suspension we make for the car this year. We probably won't even use the minor suspension, and we'll just do research from this point onwards. But the suspension needs to be improved as much as possible before we start researching it for next year, to give it the biggest head start for next year as possible. So because this is probably the worst part on the car, we absolutely have to go for this. 5 engineers is the most we can put on. We can't go rushed. It's 29 days until that is ready. We'll get that in time for Hungary. We won't get it in time for France, but Hungary, we will get it before the mid-season break. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and book that in. I can do a minor front wing. So we're going to go ahead and do that now as well. Same again, we're going to try and focus on improving the low speed where we can. Again, let's look at car 2 performance to figure out where we can make those improvements. If I can just dial these back a touch. Have got an underfloor coming, and I'm not quite sure how these changes will affect the the car once the underfloor's on, but that will improve our braking a little bit. It'll give us a little bit of a boost in our clean air high speed. It'll improve our low speed dirty air, which we desperately need. It'll even boost our medium upper rank as well. Yeah, that kind of works. I'd like to do that, but that would have a more beneficial effect overall, but it's not the area that needs to be worked on. I need to work on improving that low speed dirty air performance, so we'll go with that. Again, we've got 5 engineers, normal 53 days, so that's going to drop in time for Spa. There we go. So there we go. 2 more upgrades in the pipeline. We've got one for the underfloor coming for France. The suspension's going to come for Hungary, and then that front wing. Let me check these off. So that's a minor front wing and a major suspension. That means, going forward from this point onwards, we now have 1 major and 1 minor front wing left, 2 minor chassis, 2 minor rear wings, a major and a minor side pod, 2 minor floors, and a minor suspension. And we're probably not going to do another suspension. As I say, the next one after this is probably going to be garbage. So realistically, I think we're looking, in terms of updates for the rest of the season, we're looking at getting a major front wing on the car and a major side pods and probably a minor floor, maybe a minor rear wing as well. I don't know if we'll have time to do a chassis. If we can get a minor chassis done, that would be nice, but we do need to start thinking about research for next year, because we haven't started that yet. We really could do with getting another chassis done for the car, because that's quite a weak part as well. Try and get it up a bit before we start researching it to boost it for next season. So that's where we are in terms of upgrades available, and what upgrades we've got coming for later in the season. I should have checked. Luckily, we didn't have a point to spend. That's good. No points for our drivers yet. Let's advance. Ben's contract ends soon. Probably going to replace him at the end of the year. That's our spare rear wings complete. It is now all set and prepped for Silverstone. So let's just see a quick comparison of how our car looks now compared to what it looked like before we put those 2 new upgrades on. So this is Freddie's car. This is car 1. This is without the new upgrades. This is car 2. This is Felipe with the upgrades. And there you can see the performance boost that we've gained. Brake cooling slightly better. Well, actually, no, it's the same. It's just because car 1 always takes preference. So brake cooling hasn't changed, but we've improved engine cooling a slight bit. I mean, a slight bit. We have improved our high-speed dirty air performance significantly. Our medium's taken a nice little boost. Our low speed hasn't taken as big a climb as I hoped. Obviously, someone else has brought some upgrades as well. Our DRS has been boosted, but it's now slightly worse overall than it was. I think we were 5th and 1st. Now we're 3rd and 3rd. So it's about average of the two. It's pretty good. Our low speed corner, you can see that has really improved significantly, and we've got a nice improvement on our medium and high speed as well. Very important given where we're going, Silverstone. And we've also improved the speed of our car, which again was something that we needed to do. So car-wise, we're in pretty good shape going into the next Grand Prix. One thing I do need to do, because I forgot to check, is look at getting some spare parts made quickly. Let's have a look at the warehouse. We're okay on spare parts. We don't need a spare chassis. We don't need a spare suspension. I thought we might need one of those. We're okay. So before we go, I am going to fit those new side pods, because I will forget otherwise. Let's install those on car 1, and the new rear wing needs to go on as well. There we go. So both cars now running the new spec of parts. We'll have a little bit of car work to do in testing to get their car knowledge back up. We've got a wet Friday. That could make things a little tricky, learning the new car. But we've got a dry quali and a dry race. So, fingers crossed, we'll be competitive at Silverstone. And I can't wait to find out just how competitive. That's it from me. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. Wasn't the greatest of results, but we had some good racing. We had an interesting tactical battle at one point. We had the pace to do it. We were undone by some weirdness with the game coding, trying to overtake Schumacher, and then that safety car killed any chance we had of actually making the overtakes because it never went in until the very last corner. But it was good, I think. We acquitted ourselves well in that Grand Prix. The strategy would have worked had those things not happened. That is unfortunately the nature of strategy, working on paper and not in practice. I don't think we made any mistakes in that decision. It's just we were a bit unlucky. But we'll be back with some more challenge mode on Tuesday, and I will be back with City Skylines tomorrow night. Again, usual time, 9 o'clock. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more City Skylines tomorrow.